Hey everyone, it's Adele and April from Just Say Scrap, and we are here with Throw It Together Thursday. So we are using our last 5 techniques to throw a project together, and excuse us while we read off of our list, but there's a lot. So first, we're going to be making flowers using a screwdriver.
And we are going to do some hand smooshing.
We are also going to use our Sunburst thin cut.
And 2 ink stamping with a sponge.
And then last, we're going to be doing our tri-blend markers with rubbing alcohol that we did on Tuesday. So buckle up, get ready for this fun adventure. All right, so you know what we have to do for today because we already read it out. So we're actually going to use a few pieces that we had made in our past Technique Tuesdays. So we're actually going to be using this one piece. This was the hand smooshing. So Mom wrote nice little notes on the back. So this is the smooshing with distressed oxides and the plastic wrap or disposable gloves. And we got this really cool design here. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna actually base off of this, pick tri-blend markers that we are going to use. And I think I'm gonna stay more in the green-yellow spectrum. So I just pulled out a few here and we're gonna color and see how this works. Okay, now that I have that initial color, I'm gonna come back over it with some blue. All right, so you saw that I cut all of that out. Well, we're now gonna pull in one of our card bases. And I had already had some black sunburst cut. And I kind of lined it up on here because I want to use the insides instead of that outside piece. However, I thought it would be really cool if we used the part that we just did with the tri-blend markers with the rubbing alcohol and replaced a few of these pieces. So just to get some different contrast here. And once we get those all laid down, this will be like our title spot, like that. So let's glue these down and we'll get to it. Now, how awesome does that look? So, look how cool. This just shows like how awesome these things can come together. So now we've done 3 of our 5 techniques that we will be using this week. So we're gonna make sure that we put this on here. So let's just get this glued up here. Right on there like that. And we're gonna move on. Also, I just wanted to show you while I was putting these away, look how cool this one even looks. Like just as an overlay, that looks awesome. So the next thing that we have to do is our 2 ink stamping with a sponge. So this is the stamp we're gonna be using. We're actually gonna be using our Boo Crew stamp, and we're gonna be using the ghost, the hat, and the pumpkin. So we're gonna have the stamp here, and I cut out our thin cuts already. So we're just gonna take these and put them on our blocks. And before we get started, we just want to make sure that we do season them on our hands. All right, so our ghost friend I just stamped because his body is just going to be the black outline. So we have him. But the next thing we're going to do is the hat. And I'm going to use the black ink. And I actually want to pull in some of our new colors as well. Because I think that this campaign with our Boo Crew, the colors just are really cool with like the oranges and stuff, and we do have a little bit of orange in here. So for the hat, we're gonna pull in our brand new color Harbor, which is like a bluish grayish color, and we're just gonna ombre the hat with the black and the Harbor here. And look how awesome that looks. It's very subtle, but I really like that look. Okay, so I'm gonna put these off to the side. And now we wanna do our pumpkin. So our pumpkin, I wanna pull in those orangey tints that are in here. I'm gonna use Shortbread and Rosemary. So we've got 2 brand new colors. This one's not dirty, so let me get one more of my sponges. And we're gonna do that for the pumpkin. Because gourds can be all different colors. So with this, I'm gonna start with the Shortbread, which is the which is the lighter color. You know what I might actually do with this, because shortbread is so light, I'm just going to ink up this entire stamp with the shortbread and then come in with the rosemary on the stamping. And look how cool that effect is on there. So I'm going to get cleaned up and we'll come right back. So before we move on here, we want to make this ghost a little happy ghost. So we're going to add a few tiny things to him, along with his face and a little bow tie, because I thought it was really cute. So to match his hat a little bit, I'm going to take the harbor for his bow tie and then the black for his face. So we're just going to get these inked up, give our little ghosty dude a face and a little bow tie. And we're gonna move on. All right, so now we've got our little ghost friend here. So I'm gonna just take him and I'm gonna pop him up. I'm gonna use some foam dots here just to give him some dimension on my page. So you definitely don't need to use as many dots as me, but I just really like when their whole body really sticks up. So I'm gonna put him right there. Gonna put some dots on his hat and we're gonna go from there. So as you see here, I did actually leave a bunch of spots on towards the bottom of his hat open, and that's because I already popped up the him, so when it lays over his head, it does not need to be double popped. So I'm just gonna lay that right over his head. Just like that. Isn't he the cutest thing? And then I'm actually just gonna glue the gourd right down. But before we do that, we did have one more thing that we had to do, which was making flowers with a screwdriver. For timing purposes, I did these outside of the demo. However, these are off of our Artiste Cricut, and you can see how they're made on our other Technique Tuesday video here. So I just kind of made these and they look really cute. So we're going to put them around our little gourd here. So how we did this, remember, it was with a quilling tool and a screwdriver and just zipped that up. This is actually rosemary ink. So we just took one of our sponges and inked that up in the rosemary, used our liquid glass to adhere the base. You hold it for a few seconds and then it stays. And I think I'm actually going to even use my liquid glass to glue these down just because they are fragile. So as you see, I kind of laid them out and I'm just going to throw some liquid glass right on here. And it's kind of making like a little pumpkin patch in the Cricut kind of ate this one. So I had to do a little bit of, I had to do some medical things to it. Just had to fix it up a little bit. Okay. So now that those are down, the gourd is not glued down yet, but I think what I'm actually going to do is, because they're so high up, is I'm going to take a 3D foam dot, not a thin one, and I'm just going to put that right in the center here and stick it onto there. So that way it's kind of like sitting up in the gourds or the cacti looking flowers. So my little pumpkin gourd is sitting there. And that is all 5 of our techniques. And isn't that just such a cute card? Obviously, because these are thicker, it will cost more postage if you're going to send it, or you could just hand it to a friend. And then you could put a cute little saying up there like, have a hauntingly happy Halloween, spooky season, too cute to spook, anything like that on this one specifically. I cut out some extra thin cuts and threw them in here. But you could do anything like that, leave that blank, write happy birthday if somebody, you know, has a birthday around now, anything like that. But that is our card with our 5 techniques. Our making flowers with a screwdriver, our hand smooshing, our sunburst, which has also the tri-blend markers with the rubbing alcohol on it, and then also our 2 ink stamping on the hat and the gourd. All right, we'll see you on Tuesday. And that's Throw It Together Thursday. Thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions, please let us know in the comments below. But we think that actually turned out very nicely, so we are excited. Also remember, we have our virtual weekends coming up in September 24th. And then we also have our in-person weekend if you're on Long Island, September 10th to the 12th, and also October 15th to the 17th. Then we have another one in March. So we've got a lot coming up. We have our September virtual weekend. October will be announced very shortly. And yeah, that's everything for us now. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button because we're trying to get to 1,000 followers by the end of this year. So, all right, we'll see you next Tuesday. Bye.
Bye.
Techniques to throw a project together. We're super
Throw up.
excited. No, I said throw up.
Okay.
Project together. Ow. Hair in my eye. All right, so now we've got, wow, that was a voice crack, if any.